Hello everyone. Today, we will learn how to paint a pheasant using gouache. The pheasant, with its vibrant colors and unique shape, offers a great subject for painting. In this lesson, you will master techniques for depicting the pheasant's feather layers, light and shadow transitions, and fine details, bringing the bird to life and adding depth to its form. Step 1. Observation and composition. Before we begin painting, it's important to closely observe the pheasant's shape and structure. The pheasant has vibrant feathers and a distinctive body shape, usually with bright feathers, curved tail feathers, and a robust body. Observation. Pay attention to the direction of the feathers, the transitions in color, and how the light interacts with the bird. Pheasants have a wide range of colors, from vivid reds, oranges, and greens to deep blues. The arrangement and overlapping of the feathers are also quite complex. It's best to observe the bird from a side or slightly angled view to show its dynamic form and layers. Composition. The pheasant is often quite dynamic, so use a natural pose as a reference for your composition, ensuring balance and movement in the painting. Make sure the pheasant is placed properly in the composition, avoiding overcrowding, and feel free to let the tail or wings extend slightly to emphasize its liveliness. Step 2. Sketching and base colors. After observing and planning your composition, lightly sketch the outline of the pheasant with a pencil. Pay special attention to proportions, especially the head, torso, and tail feathers. The pheasant has many feathers, so be careful with the placement of each part. Laying the base colors. Start by applying the base colors to the pheasant. We can begin with the bright oranges, reds, and greens that dominate its plumage. The feathers should have a gradual color transition, so use thin layers of gouache to achieve this. Feather colors will require multiple layers to create smooth gradients that reflect light and shadow. Head and chest. Use warmer tones, such as red and orange, to cover the head and chest feathers with a base layer. Feather gradients. The tail feathers are typically darker, so use dark greens and browns to lay the base color for the tail and wings, making sure to follow the natural direction of the feathers. Step 3. Depicting feather layers and light and shadow. The feathers are the most distinctive part of the pheasant, so capturing their texture and layering is crucial. Feather layers. The pheasant's feathers are layered, with underlying feathers and outer layers. To show this, apply thin layers of paint gradually, layering the colors to create a sense of depth. Pay special attention to the tail and wing feathers, where the feathers curve and overlap, using gradual color transitions to depict this. Light and shadow. Feather light and shadow transitions need careful attention. Use lighter tones, such as yellow or white, for the areas of feathers where the light hits. Foreshadowed areas. Use darker tones, such as deep browns and greens, to create a sense of depth. Layer the paint in thin washes to allow smooth transitions between light and shadow. Step 4. Fine detail work. Once the feather layers and shadows are in place, we move on to adding fine details such as the pheasant's eyes, beak, and feet. Eyes. The pheasant's eyes are usually bright and have a noticeable reflection. Use bright yellow and white to highlight the reflection in the eyes, and carefully outline the eyes with black to make them appear lifelike. Beak and feet. The beak of a pheasant is usually short and sharp, painted with orange or yellow tones. The feet can be painted with gray or brown, and fine details should be added to capture their shape and texture. Feather texture, particularly on the tail and wing feathers. Pheasants often have visible texture. Use a fine brush to add small lines to emphasize the detailed texture of the feathers. Step 5. Background and final adjustments. Once the pheasant is completed, we turn our attention to the background. The background should not overwhelm the pheasant, but complement its appearance. Use a simple, natural background such as trees, grass, or sky to help the pheasant stand out. Background choices. Opt for warm or soft green tones for the background to make the pheasant more prominent. Avoid adding too many details to the background. Keep it simple and blurred to maintain the focus on the pheasant. Final adjustments. Finally, check the balance of light, shadow, and details across the entire painting. The key to painting a pheasant in gouache lies in depicting the layers of feathers, carefully managing light and shadow, and adding detailed textures. With careful observation and precise technique, you can bring the pheasant's dynamic and colorful appearance to life. I hope today's lesson helps you master these techniques and enhance your gouache painting skills. That concludes today's lesson. Thank you, everyone.